Welcome back to Tada 3D Printing. I've been missing from YouTube for a little while because my mother suddenly went into the hospital and ended up passing away. So I'm very grateful that I was able to spend time with her as well as the rest of my family. One of her favorite flowers was the purple iris, so I wanted to 3D print one on one of my printers. I did want to use a design that was already out there, so I started with Maker World and typed in iris and quickly realized that for the most part iris is a puzzle box is what everybody is calling it. That's not what I'm looking for, so I added iris flower. And although these two are cute, they're both two-dimensional things, and I really wanted something that I could print that was three-dimensional. So I jumped over to printables and did the same thing. Started with iris and got the same results. The iris puzzle box, which is not what I'm looking for right now. And when I typed in iris flower, again, I was not really getting anything three-dimensional. I'm getting either this flat one all the way here on the left, or I'm still getting some iris flower puzzle boxes. So I actually found this one on Thingiverse. This is the California Iris Flower, and it's by Richalt 2. And I really like this design because he's got a couple different options. You can either print the entire flower all together, or you can print it as individual pieces. So if you need to glue it together because you're having some issues with the printer, you can do that. So you can see this here. You've got kind of the outer leaves and then the inner leaves. I would like to do the least amount of assembly possible, so I download the whole zip file and open the iris that's the complete flower. I ideally would like this flower to be multicolor, so I start this with the Prusa XL. I'm going to just print it as a single color first to see how it does, and I need to add supports to it, so I do the supports everywhere. I'm not quite sure how much supports it's going to need on the inside. And then I also switch the supports from snug over to organic because I'm hoping that'll be a little easier to pop the supports off. This will take about 4 hours with the single color with the supports. And I just used a color that I already had loaded. This is the light blue in the Overture PLA, and this went through and printed just fine without any issues. Caitlin was able to remove this the next morning, and it didn't have any issues as far as breaking when she removed it from the plate. There is a little bit of stringing that you can see on just kind of the inner portion of the flower. I was hoping that some of the supports would actually pop off when we were removing it from the bed, but that didn't happen. They're actually pretty stuck on there really well, which is good that they supported and they didn't fall over, but they were still kind of a pain to remove. The petals are kind of delicate, so as you're popping the supports off, you do have to really be careful that you're not grabbing the supports too hard because you could just snap the petal very easily. And the little supports in the middle do okay as well. I was a little nervous that those might snap off, but they do just fine, and this takes about 5 minutes or so to pop all of the supports off. And since I need to make several of these flowers, I figured that I might as well run some on the bamboo as well. So I go in with the same file that is the two parts to the flower together, and I changed it to have supports on this one as well. I'm just going to run it as a single color first, and this is saying that with pretty much default settings, it's going to be at about 2 hours to print. I needed to order in the correct color of purple, but this one came with one of my printers. It's the PLA Sparkle in kind of a dark purple, which is really pretty. And I can tell that this is going to be a little too dark, but it's a good test, and I'll be able to definitely tell the difference between this one and the XL one. So this one I did not do the organic supports. I haven't really messed around with supports too much on the bamboo, so I just kind of wanted to stick with the default. But we didn't have any issues with printing this, and it is a little tricky to get off the print bed, but everything doesn't break. Everything's good. The supports on this are definitely better adhered to the print. Whether that's good or not, I'm not really sure. This takes Caitlin about almost 15 minutes to pop these off. She ends up having to just kind of cut them off. They don't really seem to want to snap off like the organic ones on the Prusa XL do. And of course, on both of these, I could do a different support material and have a little bit of help to remove these, but I was trying to keep them simple as a single print Ended up being a lot more to remove the supports than I realized. But here are the two of them together. The blue one from the Prusa XL and the dark purple one from the Bamboo. And I like overall the purple on the Bamboo just a little bit better. I think that the lines are a little less pronounced, which may also be the different sizes in the nozzles, but I am just kind of running both these still stock from how I received them. But I think this is a really cool design, so I'm anxious to see how everything works together. So we run the stem, and we do this on the MK4. This is just going to be a single color print. And of course, the way that it is going to print, we need some supports. It's possible that it could have held up. I mean, it's not like it's going to be printing in space, but I think that would just be too much movement on the higher up stems, and I'm sure it would fall over. So we add support, and we do organic support. This is going to take about 2 hours, and it's going to give room for 4 flowers. This stem color is called Pine Green by eSun, and I was a little antsy to see how the supports would hold up on this because I have had a lot of stems that fall over, especially because that organic support, there's not a whole lot to it, but it does print okay. It does good, nothing falls over, nothing cracks. It works how it should. I really wanted these flowers to be 2 colors, purple and yellow. So that means that I'm going to have to paint this file a little bit because it's just a single color. It was an STL that I pulled into Bamboo. When I've painted things in Bamboo Studio, usually I just use the fill, and I can just fill either an entire wall a different color, or there's some sort of difference in the surface that I can just kind of auto-fill. But that is not the case here. So I grab the little brush tool and I just kind of draw on the little area where I want it to go, and then I'm able to fill inside of it. So I want to have just kind of like a little bit of yellow on each of the petals, and I think that I can do this. I'm probably going to try to clean it up a little bit, but I think that this is doable. So for this file with the 2 colors, the purple and the yellow, with the supports, it's going to be about 6.5 hours, and I decided to run it first with the organic supports. I wanted to see how those would pop off. It did tell me that it detected some spaghetti, and I kept it going, and the organic supports did not work for me for this print. I actually ran it twice, and they both came out like this in multiple pieces. So I went back and changed the supports back to the manual or the default ones, and this prints much better. I don't have that issue. It doesn't pause and tell me that there's spaghetti. I really didn't know how it would work with my hand painting this, but I really like this. I think it turned out really cute to have the yellow, and there's not streaks all throughout the purple on the top of the petals. I'm really happy with this. And these are the 2 colors that we ended up using. I did have to order the purple in Overture PLA. I didn't get matte or anything special. It's just purple. And then for the yellow, I actually had this one already. That's the highlighter yellow. It's a very bright yellow. And of course, that one's PLA as well. So those ones worked out really good together. And this is how it looks with 2 of the flowers on the stem. So they do fit. They're a little tricky to get the flowers to fit all the way on there because I think my supports, I might need to dig out a little bit more on the inside. But it turned out really good. I just think that it's so cool that there's so many designs out there that people have already put together and that they're willing to share, and you can just throw them on your printer and have something within a few hours. So now I just need to print 2 more of the flowers, but I think I'm going to do it the same style. I like the purple and the yellow together. And this emollient filament silk shiny in green to black is what I'd used to make a vase in a previous video. So I'm going to use that same one, and this is how it looks all together with all the flowers done. I'm really happy with this. I think it turned out really cool. I really like how the vase is, and the detail on the flowers is really cool. Thank you guys so much for your support and your patience while I got this video together. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.